Locutors of Trek.
On screen. Make first contact right here. Here.
Actually, over there.
Welcome to Locutors of Trek on Screen. First Contact. We are your hosts, Gavin Scalhorn.
I'm Dave Huxley.
My co-host. There he
That's
is.
me.
Now we look more like co-hosts now. And we have our guest down here, more centered than he was a moment ago. Guest, actor, podcaster, father, filmmaker, friend of the show, Michael Chan.
Hey, how are you doing?
Welcome.
Thank you for having me on the show. I'm like super excited to be here.
Oh, that's excellent.
Love what you guys do, so it's like, yeah.
Thanks. We're really excited to have you. Well, I know that you've met Gavin before, so
Yes.
it's my first time meeting you, and it's been a pleasure so far, even just in the sort of pre moments of the show. So you've transitioned into acting over a number of years, and you're doing a lot on screen now.
Mhm.
What's it like moving into a franchise like Star Trek?
It's a dream come true. It's the best way and the only way I can really describe this. It's surreal. I still can't believe it's happening, you know. So yeah, it's the best feeling in the world, especially when this was my big goal. Once they announced that they were filming Discovery in Toronto, this was it. This was my acting goal, and now that I've achieved it, it's just it's both an amazing feeling and it's a relief, because now I can focus on other stuff too.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, can you say more about that? That's a really interesting statement to make.
Yeah.
Now that's a good warm-up question to this question. How does it feel to be on Locutors of Trek?
See this with being in Star Trek, it opens up a world of things I can actually show up in, and since this is one of the ones I really wanted to show up in, it's feels amazing. So again, thank you. Although Davin, man, your energy, what's going on, man? Usually you're like up here.
Oh, I'll get there. Don't worry.
Okay. Do I have to heat you up, buddy?
Oh, well, you get a good dad joke for me. Might help.
Oh my god. I'll
Don't
warm
worry
up.
about it. I'm not putting you on the spot like that, Dave.
I have
tell
to.
us a
No.
dad joke.
I'm
No,
debating
just kidding.
how dirty of a dad joke I should be going with.
Oh, well. There's no censorship in Starfleet, so don't worry about that.
What did one ice cream say to the other ice cream? Lick me until ice cream.
Now
that's how dirty we're going
I've brought
today.
Michael Chan here today.
Oh my gosh, we're starting
Not to talk
in
about
the
Star
very
Trek.
gutter.
There you go. There you are, Davin. The Davin I know.
Cheers to that.
Oh,
Kapla!
wait, there we go. My microphone was really far away. How do I sound now?
Oh, you sound way better.
You sound great, and I can hear your very sexy voice, which I love very much.
We're getting right into it. Here.
Both of you have really sexy voices and nice, facial hair, which I cannot grow.
Well,
I have stories and acting about how like they want facial hair on me. This is not happening.
Ah, right on.
Makeup department can do amazing things these days.
They can. They can. Unless you're trying to like mess around with Henry Cavill's face.
That's true.
Well, see, I don't think CGI is the way to go in that situation.
No, it's not.
No. It's just some nice spirit gum and fun fur, you know.
I'm no
They,
professional. But
So I'm in a board game, Apocalypse 2, Defend the Burbs. And so if you have that game, I'm actually one of the survivors you can find, and I have a card, and it was great because when they drew me, I gave them a photo of me, no facial hair. What they gave me was a giant beard. I'm like, in no conceivable post-apocalyptic universe will I ever have that beard. You see, like I'm one of those Asians like I have to grow facial hair for at least 50 years before I can have what you guys have. So I'd be like really old in that universe. So anyways, but it was nice seeing what I would look like with a beard.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Actually, you remind me of my I was going to say, you remind me of my favorite story related to my own beard that way. Years and years and years ago, when it was probably would have been 99, 2000-ish, I was going to University in Halifax, and then I would go back to Prince Edward Island and work actually at Anne of Green Gables' house on the North Shore as a guide in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's what they call the corner stores in PEI. House.
No, it's called National Heritage Place because it can't be called a historic site because, and but,
not real.
So I decided to shave my beard off before I went to work one summer, and we're going off to do our like refresher on like CPR and things. And my boss looks at me. He's like, "Dave, what did you do to your beard? Do you think you could grow it back?" I was like, "Oh yeah, we got a couple weeks. That's fine. I'll come back with it." He's like, "You're kidding." So 2 weeks later, I walk back onto the site for my first day, and Doug walks up, and I've got the same beard I've got now, basically. And in the same period of time, he's met this little soul patch down here. He walked by, he's like, "I friggin' hate you." He just kept right on going to his car. Poor guy. But yeah, we have to curate the facial hair over here.
See, I always tell people, if you see a me with a beard, you know it's a doppelganger. Kill him.
True.
That guy's from the mirror
universe immediately.
It's something someone will see in Discovery Season 5, Mirror Universe Michael Chan, and he will be fully bearded.
I mean that would be amazing if they wanted to bring me back.
Well, let's get to that actually. Well, first, because we know you're a Star Trek fan, who is your favorite series, character, and movie of the Star Trek franchise?
In Star Trek, like the entire universe, or in specific? Ooh, that's hard. Wow.
We'll say you can't pick yourself.
I'm not my favorite. I actually am not my favorite. It's hard because like growing up, it was usually Sulu, but Saru has really just. He's up there. Like I can't decide anymore. Saru is an amazing character, and I love him. So it's like between Saru and Sulu.
Right on.
It's because the names are so similar.
Yeah, could be it. They're both minorities.
Well, sure. Well, I was going to ask you, what are the qualities in Saru that draw you to him as a character?
It's his heart, I feel like him and Tilly are the hearts of the show, and he's just he's a good cross between like amazing leadership, amazing compassion, and just a real like person. I know he's an alien, but I can really relate to him.
Right. He's got and one of the things I really appreciate about Saru as a character, particularly, is Doug Jones's capacity for movement. I think the first place he really captivated me was Pan's Labyrinth, of course. But his ability to make his own body convincingly so other than what we would expect of human motion is
Mhm.
just captivating, I find, you know?
Yeah, and I love just the hand sway in the back. Like
Mm.
you watch other actors attempt to do that, like when they're on Kavanaugh or whatever. None of them can do it the way he does.
Ah,
But then again, you could argue like everyone's an individual, so their sways would be a little different. But still, it's just there's a level of grace to the way he
Oh,
does
yeah.
it that's just absolutely beautiful to watch.
mm, yeah,
Yeah, he's like
yeah,
a ballerina.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes. It was great because I saw him. I didn't get to talk to him, but I saw him walk by on set. I was like, oh my god, it's so cool. It's Doug Jones in full makeup, and it looks
Oh, right
amazing
on.
in real life. Like it looks so good in real life.
Well, talk about a surreal moment. I can only imagine seeing it come up with the uniform and the makeup and everything, right? That's got to be
Yeah, no, it
overwhelming
was
in some respects.
yeah. Mind you, not in full uniform since it was outdoors. He was in a bathrobe, same as the rest of us.
In a bathrobe.
Do you want
So
to go into that?
Come on, you said bathrobe. Now we have to go into
Okay, so let me ask you guys, what do you think? How do you think the uniform works? My uniform.
I assume you put your pants on one leg at a time like everybody else.
I'm gonna guess Velcro on the front there, maybe. But I haven't got a good enough look at the pants because there's not really a lot of visible clasps or anything. It doesn't seem
Well, yeah, it's very smooth. It's seamless.
very Star Trek that way.
Exactly. So,
Painted.
trying not to give
It's
away
painted
too much
on.
here. I'm wearing underneath it. I'm wearing a thong
Oh,
Oh my.
with a bodysuit that has an opening in the crotch area. That's skin tight. My pants are Velcro to that. And
Velcro to that.
yeah, and then the blazer has to be, because we don't want to get it wrinkled, has to be taken off anytime I'm offset. So it's cold. That's why we wear bathrobes everywhere.
Wow.
With your like skin tight suit on underneath.
Oh yeah, no, it's sexy. It's really sexy.
But if I understand you rightly, you've got a bathrobe and tearaway pants, and then they give you.
I mean,
the
they're
top.
pretty tight. They still like. I mean, I have to put the pants on, and then the waistband is Velcroed to my.
Oh, I see. I thought you meant they were like.
No, not like
on
Velcro,
to my
but
feet.
like I don't have a belt.
These
I
are
don't have
magic pants.
like it's not really elasticy, so they have to keep it up somehow.
Okay.
Because you don't want seams or anything, right? You don't want,
Yeah.
or muffin topping. Which I totally, you know what? Like in that thong, I was nearly doing that,
Wow.
Not to brag, but it was a tight. No, I'm kidding.
So where your character works on Discovery, is that like the command center? Is that what you call that? Like the command center?
It's the Federation headquarters, and it is a
Federation
starbase / ship. It's a starbase that can go into warp. I am part of the bridge crew, and I am the operations / communications officer.
Lieutenant Michael Chan.
And I am a lieutenant, yes, junior grade.
But we had no name. Is that correct?
Not yet. I hope they will give me a name one day.
Considering I have a bit of a bone to pick with Discovery there, I think that on any of the other shows you have a name. They name everybody.
Oh, sure.
So I don't know if you noticed, there's two of us that show up twice. It's myself and the security officer, played by Emmanuel John. And Emmanuel's, mind you, he's a fantastic actor. Like he's just absolutely wonderful. And we keep joking, like, you have Reese and Bryce on Discovery, the Asian and the black best friends. So Emmanuel and I were like, yeah, we're the Reese and Bryce of the bridge crew on the Federation headquarters. Yeah, that's right. We're the best friends, and we're recurring characters.
HQ.
We don't we don't like we want names, but we also want our own spin-off series. We want our
I
own
can see
spin-off
it.
series that's like a comedy. So like we always get in trouble with Admiral Vance. Like one episode we want to play like a beam tag because you know you have, in the future you have these like we could just instantaneously beam anywhere, right? Like our badges beam us everywhere. It's like snap. No more of the right. So we're like we're gonna do like the Nightcrawler poof Banff tag all over the HQ, and it'll be like it'll escalate, and Vance will like, guys, just stop it. But then it'll end with him actually joining in.
I was gonna say Vance is like your Mr. Slate. He's just like Flintstone, but he's like after you guys.
Yeah, make it happen, CBS. Make it
Yeah,
happen. It's
the
gonna be a
spin-off we all
hit.
want, the one we deserve.
It's true.
Yeah, this is the new era of Star Trek.
Speaking about where you are on the headquarters ship, I was looking through I think a scene from your second appearance. That's episode 13 of season 4.
Mm-hmm.
And just before we see you, right when sort of Vance is coming up across and asking you a question, we hear a voiceover on the loudspeaker over Tilly. That wasn't your voice, was it? Because it sounded an awful lot like you.
It is me, yes.
It is you. Okay.
I make 2
That's what I
announcements in that episode, yeah.
Right on.
It's part of my job.
Dave. Good catch.
Right on.
What he does is call officer.
Nice consistency.
So that set is pretty fancy and flashy. How much of that is real, and how much of that is added in post? Like,
A lot of it's real.
yeah.
They built an entire bridge that with pieces that can be moved around to represent the different levels. Because if you've seen like the episodes where they show the voting, so you have like it's pretty deep, right? So yeah, there's like a lot of green screening and editing and all that, but it's always the same deck. But that's
And,
real.
like,
So it's sort of a
like when
movable
your characters,
stage.
like,
Pardon me?
working on one of those like holographic screens, you know.
The
That's obviously
screens
not there.
themselves. So obviously the holographic parts are CG'd, right? But our panels are real, and they have these cool consoles on it that's like lights up and everything with LEDs and screens as well. So it's really helpful to have those things so that we know what to do. But yeah, like a lot of it is real. A lot of it is actually practical, and that actually includes especially like the explosion stuff. Those are all practical as well.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, right
Yeah,
on.
I think the spin-off potential's there because you seem to be Admiral Vance's right-hand guy, as far as I can tell. Like,
I
that's the
guess.
impression I get. Well, you know,
I guess.
he needs something done. He sends you come jogging in. He's like, "Hey, man, here's my guy. Go get
Yeah,
it done, my
I
guy."
get the jogging shot
Exactly.
with the hair that flops because the stylist actually made sure my hair flopped properly. I know that sounds ridiculous, but they could have just gelled it down so it didn't flop at all. But then I'd look like an action figure. So they're like, yeah, let's make it flop. It's like,
But properly.
a lot of details. Like that's the thing about this show. There are all these tiny details that people really don't think about, but your brain picks up. That adds to the realism of it. You know?
And yet they couldn't name 2 characters that deserve names.
Well, you know, we have to earn. We have to earn
I
that.
guess so.
Just like we have to
Lieutenants
earn
don't get names. Only lieutenants.
Not yet. Not yet.
That's pretty funny. Oh, man. Oh, here's an audience question.
Oh.
For Michael Chen. Have you ever heard of Super Mater Brothers?
Wow. Yeah. Aren't they like these super amazing podcasters? Like some of the best out there. You know,
I've never heard of them. I don't know.
Really? That's a shame. That's a shame. Like
no,
they're
I
so
hear
good.
they're
Like,
great
you know,
guys.
to be on one of their shows is
Yeah.
like the holy grail.
Well, you start here, and then eventually you can.
Well, yeah, you move your way up to the Super Mater brothers.
The big leagues, as it were.
Big leagues, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
What just happened?
It's
What? Yeah. What?
Somebody
Nice.
hacking my feed here?
Doors.
Is that an ad?
I don't know.
Are we getting
I don't know.
spam ads on this
Didn't
show?
get paid for it.
Capitalism on a Star Trek podcast. This is heresy.
So what was it like working with Oded Fair? We all saw The Mummy and saw how attractive he was in that movie.
Oh God, I love he's one of my idols growing up. He's one of my acting idols as well, and working with him was fantastic. He's just such a great guy. You know, he's sweet. He's a great dad, great parent, great husband. You know, he goes into like the Discovery Bridge to take calls from his family. He's great, and like, you know, like I was going through stuff last year, like with my mom having cancer and then dying and all that, and he was there for me. Yeah, he's a sweetheart and a class act. You know, he's a very good set leader, set dad. So it was just phenomenal working with him, and just to even to get a glimpse of his process was amazing for me, because, you know, I can study his on-screen acting all I want, right? There's something to be said to see him backstage and then transition from backstage to, you know, in front of the camera. And it's a lesson in and of itself. So I learned a lot.
What I was going to ask you about that. What's it like to act opposite that kind of a very practiced, very experienced presence on stage with you?
It's
yeah.
So the thing about the way I work is like, because I've been doing this for 16 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not new. I don't really get starstruck or anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I do recognize that, you know, obviously there will always be people who are much more experienced and much better at this than I am, people that I want to learn from. The experience of working with them is phenomenal, because it's like, even though like we're actually being filmed, right? This is going to be put out there. It's like I'm in class again, you know. I'm like literally and I don't say a lot. Don't get me wrong, I don't say a lot, but I could feel myself improving just because when you have someone like that who's so present, is just in the moment and just like giving me so much to work with, an overwhelming amount of to work with, even with just simple lines. It just then allows me to draw from that and then bring out stuff for my character, for me to play with that and then to give back, you know?
Right.
So when you have like super high caliber actors like that, it's just literally my acting steps up, you know? And it's not just, it's one of the things about on-set experience, right? You can go to take classes, workshops, all you want, but there's something to be said to actually be on a real set working with professionals, especially ones who've done this so much more than you, because that will push you to the next level. And I will say, definitely helped push me in what minimal amount of time I got to spend, and push me to the next level, because now I feel I'm much more confident to be able to work in a set of this caliber and succeed. And, you know, and I'm sure that over time I'll get, you know, similar type roles and then move up from there, and I'll just get more and more comfortable and more able to give, right?
Yeah, it's
we'll
one
see
of
your
the things that I
character
found.
as well down the line.
Pardon me.
Like, you know, in 20 years from now, we'll see you like Admiral Lieutenant Michael Chan. You know?
You know, I keep joking that they should just name my character Kim, like Lieutenant Kim.
Oh,
To kind of like be an
amazing.
Easter egg. Like I'm an ancestor. I mean, sorry,
I'm
he's
all
my
for
ancestor.
that.
I'm a descendant.
Yeah. You're like his great grandfather.
Yeah,
That'd be
because that
great.
would be amazing. Since I love Garrett Wang and I love Harry Kim and yeah, so if they did that, it would be great.
But it's like also kind of throwing a little shade his way.
Unless you want to mess with people and also call me Reese. So he knocked up a girl, didn't know, jumped to the future, and now and there I am. I'm kidding. Patrick's gonna be like, what the hell?
That's right.
So, is it true, Michael Chan, that you can be the only Asian on Locutors of Trek?
I mean, at this moment in time, I am.
Okay.
I'm a minority even here. At this moment.
For those of you may not know, that's not as weird a question as it may sound.
No, it's not.
Maybe you could explain why before they all hate me and turn this off.
No, I won't.
Oh no! I
want
set
them to hate
myself
you.
up. I knew it.
You totally set yourself up, buddy.
I was throwing that out there. I was sending the pitch, you know, down the plate.
All right, guys, bring the torches, bring the pitchforks.
Oh,
you know,
you took the
Frankenstein's
risk.
monster is right there in the windmill. Let's go burn them.
Moving on.
I'll save you now. I'll save
Okay.
you. I'll be your Frankenstein's monster's wife. There you go. I'm save you.
Frankenstein's monster's weight. Yes. Indeed.
There you go. Hi, Daddy.
Did she say that? That's not how I remember that.
No, she didn't. Although I imagine behind the scenes, maybe. I don't know.
That's in a bit of a parody version of it, probably.
Yes.
Yeah. That was the Abbott and Costello one.
Whole new monsters. But anyways,
There's a short film that I was referencing.
yes, we are talking about a short film that I produced, wrote, directed, and produced and acted in, called The Only Asian. Yes. It is the second film I have ever made. And it is the reason why I'm now a filmmaker as well as an actor and podcaster. And it's done really well. I made it back in 2020. After I had made a short film called Switch with my buddy Timothy Ng for a film festival, like a pandemic film festival. We did it for fun because like the industry was shut down and it was like, what can we do? There's nothing to do and we need to be creative. We need to stay creative. So like this festival popped up and we're like, yeah, let's make something and enter. And that got me like thinking like, what else can I do? So like I was on set. So the industry opened back up a little and I was on set of a commercial and I was sitting there at lunch and had just been like the day before I had been talking to a friend who lost their agent during the pandemic and they were having a lot of difficulties finding a new one. And that reminded me of my own struggles and other people who look like me in our struggles. And I don't know, I just wrote a short film over lunch that became The Only Asian. Pardon? Oh yeah, I just realized what you said. Thank you, Daddy. But yes,
Gonna earn my title.
Us handsome people are a minority.
Tell me about it. It's preaching to the choir.
You better be careful. You're like digging a hole.
Oh man, wait till we get to yeah. So you thought I started off slow. We'll get there.
We'll
just
going
send
pretty
into
fast
madness
right now. It's
eventually.
warp speed. Can't wait to hit warp 10. Or are we gonna spore jump? But no, seriously. So yeah, I wrote The Only Asian and immediately called up my best friend Katisha Shaw and my good friend Ginny Wong. I was like, okay, you guys want to be in this? And I sent them the script. They're like, oh my god, yes. So we all filmed on our cell phones. And it's like a Zoom movie. It's like a Zoom meeting because it's a pandemic movie. And it's about two Asian actors who end up in the same agency. And even though I'm a man and she's a woman, and I have short hair and she has long hair, and I'm 6 feet tall and she's like 5'2", they think we look alike. So we have to kind of, duke it out. See who's the only Asian. And to all of our surprise, whatever. This film went on to not only get selected like a lot at film festivals, it won like a ton of awards, including Best Short Film multiple times, and what's even crazier, won me a Best Actor award.
Wow.
Yeah, and then as a great send-off, it was played at the Chinese Theater in Hollywood back in March, which
Wow.
blows my mind. By the way, and this is a milestone, I do need to mention this. Katisha Shaw, again, my best friend. Katisha Shaw wrote and produced and directed and acted in a film called Hinterland Election Night, which was like a parody, like a comedy about the US election. And I'm in that. I have a very short appearance in that. And that film, Hinterland, has also done incredibly well at festivals. And that film was also screened at the same festival at the Chinese Theater. So both Katisha and I had our faces screened twice this year in March at the Chinese Theater, which is just
wow.
By the way, Katisha Shaw, remember Katisha Shaw's name. She is literally she's the best actor I know, and she's going to be huge. So one day she's going to be on your show.
Right on. And if people want to find the films, I know The Only Asian is on Vimeo, right? You can find it there.
If you go to my website, michaelchan.ca, I finally uploaded it onto my demo. I call it the demo section because my demo reels are there, but I also have that film there. So, michaelchan.ca. Hinterland, I'm going to have to ask Katisha to see where it's, because I don't know if it's available to watch publicly right now.
Okay.
But yeah. The Only Asian is definitely available on my website.
Right on.
You know, Dave, you may not know this actually, but
I may not.
I rub elbows with the admirals and the lieutenants over there at HQ. In fact, I got a personal birthday message from Lieutenant Michael Chan and Admiral Vance.
What?
On my birthday. Do you not recall this? I think I might play it for everybody.
Maybe my doppelganger made it. I don't know.
Here we go.
This is Lieutenant Chan. I am sending this through the Temporal Interstellar Telegraph Service, also known as TITS. Commander Gavin, on behalf of the Federation, Admiral Vance, and myself, we wish you a very happy birthday. Live long and prosper.
See, many of you may not know this. I actually outrank Lieutenant Michael Chan, Commander.
You do, and I mean, Lieutenant isn't very high up.
Tell that to Harry Kim.
That is true. They did him dirty. He has a name. He's a main character, and he's lower ranked than I am.
True.
And people get promoted all around him.
Oh Lord!
Like even Tuvok.
What do you see, Mr. Kim? It's something. You'll have to do better than that.
I'm telling you, if they don't promote my character as well as Emmanuel's character by next season, it's a tragedy.
Or at least
because seriously, if you watch season 4, we deserve a promotion.
Yeah, working hard over there at HQ.
Oh yeah,
I think.
Yeah, especially with everything that happens since season 4. I'm not going to spoil it for everyone. Go watch it. The whole thing is there on Paramount Plus for you to stream and binge. It's a great season. and that was an
No,
ad.
name or not. Name or not. Name or not. Now that you're on Memory Alpha, you could pretty much show up anywhere. In the Trek universe, you could show up in
I
one of those games. Your character could, you never know. You're out there now. You're in the Star
well,
Trek
apparently
ether.
somebody we know created
Mm-hmm.
me in Star Trek Online, and has me following them around doing. Wow, and, I thought
How
I
does
was
that
doing
keep?
that
What's
weird.
going on here?
Yeah. Why does that keep popping up? I mean, I thought this was a Star Trek thing, not a Super Mario Nintendo thing.
Me too.
It's true.
I don't even think they used that logo yet. I think I'm the only one who uses it. That's what I
But yeah,
did.
apparently I'm running around following some crazy captain,
Oh, really?
I'm in
doing
that game
horrible
too, actually,
things.
but I'm a
And,
Klingon.
you are?
Yeah, he
Nice.
created me, and I'm a Klingon Davan of House Skullhorn.
That's amazing.
Nice.
I imagine I'm his
Good.
wingman, so like anytime he wants to go bang an Orion or something, I'll be there like, this guy's awesome.
Right over there. Super.
I'm just a Worf, considered quite humorous on Star Trek Online. I'll have you know.
I'm
Why
sure.
don't you tell us a little about your 16-year mission to be on Star Trek?
Oh boy. Well, it wasn't a 16-year mission. Well, okay, I'll
30-year
start
mission.
as far back as I can, but basically
Tell me about 6-month-old Michael.
6-month-old Michael Chan drooled a lot, smiled a lot, and was naked a lot. There you go.
You're not alone, Gus. You hear that?
That's right. 6-month-old Michael Chan loved his parents very much.
Good.
Yep. And yeah. And then 6-year-old Michael Chan spoke very little English, spoke Cantonese.
Oh.
And then 10-year-old Michael Chan spoke English with a Chinese accent.
Okay.
13-year-old Michael Chan had half an accent. 23-year-old Michael Chan had no accent, except my THs were pronounced as Ds for certain words. And that was corrected out of me in film school.
Wow.
Yeah, because but I'm born here. I'm born in Canada, so it's part of the whole diverse upbringing thing. But anyways,
Right.
I was never into drama. I was actually into music growing up. I made it to grade 9 in piano. I
Right on.
played the alto saxophone.
Nice.
I tried to sing, but I'm a terrible singer. And I was in high school. I was in band. I was not in drama. And yeah, like I won awards for that. I trained some of the sax players to go to Kiwanis with the rest of the band, and they won. Like it was. At no point did I ever think. Did I even consider acting? Now, mind you, I watched movies with my parents. Every weekend we would go to the theater and watch something. So, and then prior to watching a lot of Western films, like my parents showed me a lot of Hong Kong films. So that's what I grew up with. So I was going to become a doctor. I went to the University of Toronto to study science, and then that became a double major in human biology and sociology. Sociology focusing on the ethics of medicine, as well as cultural sociology and how different cultures interact with society over here in the West.
Oh, fascinating.
And I actually finished my degree. I actually have a bachelor's of science in human biology. I got to choose. They asked me if I wanted, my bachelor's to be for sociology or science. I was like, science. But in third year of university, I had some friends who were like, they were making a student video game because they were in like the gaming program. And they're like, Michael, we always hear you doing stupid voices, like really stupid voices. You want to do some of them for our game? And I'm like, sure, why not? And I don't know, it just, when I did it, it's just something awakened in me. As I keep telling people, I was bitten by a radioactive acting bug and was transformed into your friendly neighborhood thespian. That's what happened. Because I went
Well, I hope you
from
didn't
doing,
lose musical abilities, because we could cancel the interview and jam.
I haven't touched a piano in over a decade, and I haven't touched
Dude.
a saxophone in 20 years. So
Oh my.
Wow.
yeah. Instead, I sing terrible karaoke. I occasionally, at the beginning of the pandemic, went on Twitch and sang parody songs using my daughter's cat piano.
Nice.
Okay, so that's the extent of my music nowadays. Although I did try to learn the ukulele, like everybody else during the beginning of the pandemic. I tried to take on a new hobby, and I can still only play 4 notes and play "You Are My Sunshine." Okay, but
One song,
yeah, it's a great song.
But it
But
sounds like, so this is a pretty complete
got you covered.
reorientation of your creative
oh
life.
Lord, here we go.
Oh wow, Motor Tune.
You are
Never
my
let your baby play with your
starship,
ukulele.
my pretty starship. You like when I'm in you on one of your consoles. I don't know. Anyways,
That song's taking a left turn fairly quickly.
my brain's
do
always
here.
in the gutter. This is terrible. I'm not representing myself well as at all. 16 years. Wow, this is what I've become. So I did that. So I started doing parodies in university and annoyed the hell out of my dorm neighbors because I kept doing stupid voices and recording them and making fun of anime and movies and stuff. And a lot of my jokes were really, really dirty. And then I would put them online and people listened to those. And I actually got pretty big on multiple different like anime websites of my parodies back then. I also created something called Yu-Gi-Oh! In a Nutshell, where I voiced every single character and basically did a synopsis of the first 2 seasons, each of them in like around 2 minutes, which I remember, like, I did that for a while, and then was it Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged came out? I was like, dude, what the heck? But anyways, those guys are awesome. They're amazing. I was like, you guys stole it. You guys are my fans. But no, they're amazing. I had no time for that. But yeah, no, I fell in love with acting, and I talked to my parents about it. I was like, I'm having problems. I know I'm pre-med. I'm in part of the pre-med society, and I have all this stuff going in, getting me ready for med school, but kind of like this acting thing. So they're like, okay, graduate with your degree.
You can do
take your MCAT.
You can do both.
Also,
they could make you a medical officer.
They could. They could. There's a reason why, by the way, I play doctors a lot, as well as dads, obviously. But I play doctors because I can actually, say everything properly, and I already know how to be one. But yeah, like my parents are like, take your MCAT, sorry. Also, take your LSAT. Just take everything. I took every test. Like I have the thing. Like I even got like offers from law schools to go to law. Yeah, it's crazy. I did all these things for my parents, and then I got my real estate license because my dad's a realtor. And he's like, it's in our blood, so you need to have a practical job just in case, right? Because acting is difficult. My dad actually, when he was young, tried his hand at acting. He acted in university, won some awards for that, but then, it didn't pan out for him. My mom wanted to be a go-go dancer when she was younger, and that didn't work out for her either. So the arts never really worked out for my parents. So it was the right thing to push me to do, right? But once I completed all that, they supported me. I went to film school, and then from there I started doing theater, as well as a lot of background work, because one of the things I realized very quickly in film school was experience on a real set is extremely important, because just by observing you can learn. And so as a background actor, sure, I was doing stuff, walking around, running around, getting blown up and stuff, but while in between stuff, I watch, I observe, and I learn, and I networked. And from all of that, I found myself an agent. The first one was bad. The second one was pretty good for a while. And I started auditioning for stuff. So I had a mix of commercials, small TV roles, and I also did like short films, student films, all stuff like that, and just worked my way up. And like around 10 years ago, I joined a union, ACTRA.
Right on.
And then I just
That's Dave, a union man,
I am a union.
a hero.
But yeah, like I don't know, when I joined a union, or even when I became an actor, my goals were never big, right? I just love acting. I love the art. It's my passion. It's the thing that fills my soul. So I didn't care if my roles are big or small, or what show I was in, or what commercial I was in. I didn't care. I just wanted to work. I just wanted to be on set as much as possible. But then, a few years ago, they announced that Star Trek Discovery was filming in Toronto. And that like changed everything, because I was like, wait, I've been a Star Trek fan since forever. Like my mom introduced me to Star Trek. I don't even know at what age. All I knew was my mom thought William Shatner, she had a crush on William Shatner, thought Captain Kirk was just so gorgeous, and introduced me to Star Trek. That's the first sci-fi anything I ever loved and was exposed to. And I wanted to be a Starfleet officer my entire childhood. And for Discovery to be in Toronto, I was like, geez, okay. So I went to my agents. I was like, okay, all right. I know I told you that I don't have lofty goals. I just want to work. Scrap that. I want Trek. That's my goal. And they're like, it's going to be hard, Michael. Like, we believe in you. You're really good, but it's going to be hard. And you're probably going to take years. It might even get canceled before anything happen. I'm like, I don't care. Let's just work. And you know what? If it gets canceled, so be it. I'll be so good that some other big show will take me.
Nice.
So I worked,
Star
and
Trek
they worked.
Gets 4 seasons.
Pardon me?
Star Trek's get at least 4 seasons. There's no canceling.
True, but I mean, you never know, right? Like the thing about acting, a lot of people don't get how hard this is. Like one of my teachers said something back in film school that just really resonated with me. He said that you have to be a little bit insane to be an actor, because imagine every audition you go to is a job interview, and you're purposefully going to a ton of job interviews only to be rejected most of the time. It's to get a proper audition is already winning a lottery. Getting an audition in a big show, that's like winning the jackpot of a lottery. But that's just an audition. Then there's actually getting the role, which is like winning the lottery again. That's just how it is. Just to give you perspective, last year I auditioned over 230 times.
Wow.
I didn't even book 20 times. That's just how this industry is. So it took me and my agents 2.5 years of hard work, refocusing, training, spending a lot of money on better headshots, better demo reel, better everything. I actually hired the top demo reel editor in all of Canada. This is Colin Mockery's demo editor. Who was like, what are you doing? Like, who are you? No, David's great. He was like, you have barely anything that's usable, but you know what? I will help you out. And he did. He made me this killer first demo reel that has been updated over and over again. But yeah, we did all these things, and it took 2.5 years to get one audition, and I didn't get the role, obviously. And it took, and then what? Pardon? On
For
Discovery, yeah,
Discovery.
it was my first audition for Discovery. It took 2.5 years to get, and then it took another year before I auditioned again for Discovery.
Mm.
What was the first role?
I can't say.
Can't say.
I'm NDA'd on that. I'm NDA'd on everything.
Yeah.
So I can only really talk about
What?
what I
Interview
did.
over. Yeah. No dirt. No
Hey, I
secrets?
already told you
What?
about the thong and the crotch hole. Okay, you
That's
got
true.
more
That
than
was
those
more than I
two.
was expecting to
Almost
get.
got a hot take already. No, I was
That's
going to
true.
say the process you're describing here.
Mhm.
I mean, thank you for that. It's really interesting to
Hmm.
get a sense of the sort of behind the scenes view of the working actor's life, because I think a lot of us don't really know how that works. But all of a sudden, it flashed on my mind. The amount of time you're putting in and working in a very deliberate and directed fashion toward getting a particular audition, whatever it may be that you're really working at.
Mhm.
I used to work in academia, and it can take that long or longer, particularly if you're in the sciences field, as you well know, I'm sure, to get an article published.
Mhm.
So there's a sense of real, I guess what I'm saying is, I think a lot of us wonder about the actor's life and think, okay, well, you kind of do some stuff, you get some gigs, you do some work, there you go. It's uh but the amount of commitment that I'm hearing in your story to pursuing this goal, uh yeah, I just it really struck me.
Certainly something that's common through the arts too. I mean, me and Dave have played music in front of 0 to 10 people far too many times.
Oh my god. Yeah, yeah,
It's like, don't
yeah.
worry, the audience is getting bigger. Sometimes the audience never gets bigger, but
No.
sometimes it
But
does.
doing it's worth it when
Oh yeah.
you're really in love with the practice, you know?
Yep.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say your bandmate.
I mean, the equivalent of what you're describing to me is just the sheer amount of stuff I've done for free. Just to
Hmm.
attempt to get some kind of material to be usable in a demo and to get something on a resume. The sheer amount of stuff I've done
Artists
that
get
is
paid
unusable.
exposure
Oh yeah.
all the time.
Oh, but like,
Yep.
let me put it this way. Like, okay, there are a lot of, as a union actor, for example, I'm allowed to do non-union student films made by students in programs at certain universities like Ryerson or Sheridan. And I mean, they're not going to pay us. And we know that. But it's like a shared thing where we as union members elevate their films, and they give us material. There's
Right.
no pay, and I did quite a few of them, and most of them never got released. So and then a lot of them I would no offense to any of the people who did it, I can never use, because there are problems like sound issues, lighting issues. Like, it just looks bad on my demo as a professional. So, and it's tragic because some of those films are really good. Like the writing is good, the directing is good, but they just don't have the skills nor the money to make it any better.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And the technical side's the worst. Technical
So
difficulties.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like I honestly think if you look at the amount of work I've done in my 16 years versus how much money I made, I've worked well. Like, even now, I if you just like divide it all up, I've made less than minimum wage at acting.
Oh yeah.
For
So you
16
want to be an artist?
Yep. And I'm a realtor, right? Outside of that, and that's where I make
Oh yeah.
the bulk of my money to feed my family, keep a roof over our heads, and to fund all the work I do for acting, because I still have to train. A lot of people don't know that. Like, we don't ever stop training. We don't ever stop learning. There is no such thing as being done. as an artist. You have to keep improving yourself.
Yeah.
And, you know, with so much downtime between gigs for most of us, like everyone sees celebrities, right? But no one really sees the rest of us. The rest of us don't work that much. So we have to stay fresh. We have to, you know, stay on our toes. And the only way to do that is to pay for it. So yeah, like I need a Joe job, as we call it, just to keep this going.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, it's how we fund all these high quality podcasts that we do.
And I'm in Star Trek. That's my career. Well, I'm proud of it. Like, I'm not. There's no bitterness. I'm not upset. Like, I'm happy.
I go to your Memory Alpha page and I go,
Michael, less than minimum wage Chan. Yes.
By God, he's done it.
But I mean, you make a good point about the value we're actually deriving from these practices, right? And clearly, the value you get from learning, from doing the acting, from just, I mean, the way you were describing being on stage with people who are acting as catalysts to draw out things in your own ability to perform that you may not even have seen before, you know. Yeah, there's a huge amount of value there that, I mean, while unfortunately not monetary, I can see that you have a pretty deep appreciation for it, seems to me.
I do. The other thing I'd like to mention about the art, at least, is that it's not just acting. Like, a production, whether it's film, television. I'm sure you guys are musicians and you know what I'm about to talk about, but it's the collaborative nature of it. You know, the more able to collaborate and to draw in and give as an artist, whether it's not just acting, like as anyone behind the camera, right? The more you're able to do that, the take and give, the better it is, not just for yourself but for everyone. And that's how you get a production like Discovery. Look how beautiful that is. You know, look how great the writing, the acting, all of that is. This is like season 4 is a mind-blowing season. If you really compare, it looks better than the freaking movies, and is, no offense, acted better too. Yeah, that's right. We're better than you guys, Kelvin Universe. No, I love the Kelvin Universe too. But in all seriousness, it is a beautiful, amazing, incredible season. And you know, it's just like the only way this could have been pulled off is as a team. You know, any artist, any part of this team that is selfish ruins everything. Right? So that's the way it is. And for me, the art itself of acting, the passion I have for it isn't just personal. It's the whole process. You know, it's being part of a community, being part of a whole, being part of this beautiful machine, working together towards a common goal to put out something for the rest of the world to see. That's what I love about this.
Right on. Well said. Well said.
There's a baby crying above my head. You have a horror podcast. Tell us about that.
Oh yeah, so I am the co-host of the Hellbound podcast. My co-host is Alexander Blackburn. He's from the UK. He is a phenomenal filmmaker and editor and producer, and he's also the founder of the Hellbound film festival, horror film festival. I'm a producer on that festival as well, and so
that?
we. Pardon me?
Is that an online?
It is an online festival. This year will be our second year doing it. It was born out of the pandemic, and
but we are going seem to have been.
Yeah,
This
but now
podcast
we're
being one
gonna
of them.
yeah. But we are going to continue forward with this festival. Our hope is to continue doing this year after year after year. And then I don't know, maybe one day we go from an online festival to actually having a theater somewhere in the UK. Like I won't physically be there, but I know he has a team over there that can then, you know, get that set up. But the podcast is an extension. Well, originally was an extension of the festival, but now it's its own thing. So we talk about anything horror, not just films. Like there's an episode I literally talk about an ad I got on Facebook for these weird like bodybuilding bird statue toys that you can buy off of Sugoi Mart, which is like a Japanese import store.
Ooh.
Like that is horrifying. If you ever look this stuff up, just look up like bodybuilding Pokemon and bodybuilding. I don't know. People have a weird obsession with these things, but that like we talk about everything horror. And we release an episode every single Wednesday. It's just a fun, you know, it's a fun show, and we recommend stuff for people to watch, people to read, people to get into with horror. We try to mix that with like reviewing stuff that's out now, new things, so but without spoilers. And one of the things they
Spider-Man No Way Home on my X-Men podcast.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, I know, right?
I've had so many spoilers for stuff recently, it pisses me off. But yeah, and one of the things they evolved out of that podcast, and I really want to talk about this because it's so cool, is like because we're both very busy, and there was this short period near the beginning of our podcast where I couldn't be on an episode, and so Alex and his wife Vicky ended up co-hosting one episode. But I was like, well, how can we keep me on the show without me being on the show? I was like, okay, maybe I'm just gonna do a cute little voicemail, you know, recording. So I recorded like a little thing about me being attacked by my doppelgangers. So it's like I'm calling him like, Alex, help me, oh my god, right? And I just sent it to him like, yeah, I'll play this before the episode, like as an intro. It's like a minute. And then the next episode was we agreed for him to take a week off. And then so my wife Jessica and I ended up co-hosting a show. And then he didn't send me. He recorded himself doing like a voicemail to keep him on the show. And then next thing I know, I'm like, hey, dude, I have this crazy idea to continue this storyline that we already started with our two voicemails, plus a something that started on episode 1 was me joking about how many Michael Chans there are on this planet, and how in reality they're all just doppelgangers of me. And it doesn't matter what they look like; they're just me, all of them. And I'm gonna kill them all because I'm the only Michael Chan.
There can only be
the
one.
real Michael Chan. So that started what is now like our radio drama intros. Every single episode has a 1 to 3 minute voice acted thing of a Bobby at the beginning, and it's a continuing story.
The Hulk Hogan one made me roll on the floor laughing.
We have guest voiceover people. Like we had a female Michael Chan played by Katisha Shaw. We have a well monster played by Oshini, and it's just it's great, and we're gonna get more and more people to guest on the show. But yeah, like we're on a worldwide adventure to fight all the Michael Chan doppelgangers. Although, mind you, the last few weeks has been crazy, so we didn't really have like a drama. Instead, we've been doing like segments with different types of Michael Chans coming on and like talking about how they're going to kill me.
Is that the Hulk Hogan one?
Oh yeah, the werewolf. The werewolves. I don't know why they're all improvised. I improvise all of these. Like I don't. There's no script for these things, unlike the drama parts. And yeah, I just turned on my mic. I'm like, I'm a werewolf. Here goes. And within like one sentence, I'm like, oh crap, this is Hulk Hogan. All right. I'm not gonna stop. I'm just gonna keep going.
It was very funny though. It's like, look, brother. Let me tell you, brother.
Brother.
I'll tell you right now, brother. It's funny though that you guys start your show off with little improvs because that's how we've always ended our shows, our regular Locutors of Trek podcast.
That's right.
An improvised scene that continues. And we break it down. Into
Yeah, the
scenes,
misadventures
and
of our bumbling musical.
Personalities. I
problems,
guess the plain simple tailors. Yeah,
That's right.
so those are always fun. We just left Deep Space Nine because they didn't appreciate us.
Yeah. You gotta
Volume
write.
You
one,
stuck a
under
microphone
appreciation
onto
station.
it. Like, how did you even get that microphone on? Like, you just ruined the whole aesthetic. The architect must be pissed off. You
Ruin
guys
the
stuck that
aesthetic.
thing on.
It's gorgeous.
No, hey, I don't
Look at that.
disagree. I think it
Amazing.
looks great. But you ruined what they originally intended for this space station. Like, how did
Well,
you
let me
even
tell
like,
you.
get that onto there? Did you like warp it in?
It certainly does resist the bounds of Cardassian minimalism. As an architect.
And the feedback that comes off that thing when the wormhole opens.
Oh goodness
Not
me!
good.
Is that how you defeated the Dominion? Using that?
I just high pitched
Who says
scream.
we defeated the
Yeah, Fluid
Yeah, I
doesn't
like
like
your
it
horror
also.
podcast. I've listened to a few episodes of it actually. I like it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Oh man, our next episode is just like Alex got busy again, so it'll be Jessica and myself, and yeah, it's my wife and I have a very fun, weird, dorky dynamic. So I hope you guys
Right on.
like that.
Hey, Jessica Chan and I have worked together on podcasts. On the
Yes,
Prodigy
yes, you guys
podcast.
have.
Yeah,
So you know exactly what she's like.
absolutely. A fine podcaster.
So I want to give a little shout out to my wife. So everyone, like, I'm the actor. I'm the one in the industry. Hell, I'm the one in Star Trek. But here's the funny thing about my wife. She knows more about the industry, more about like she knows more about media in general than I do. She knows more about Trek than I do. And I've been a Trekkie my entire life, but the knowledge she has of media is insane. The amount of actors, directors, composers that she knows. I'm terrible with names. Like you show me a picture, I'm like, yeah, that guy did that movie. What's his name? I don't know.
Oh,
I'm
that's
terrible.
Dave, by the way.
Horrible. And same with actors. I'm like, yeah, that's the dude in this or that, or the lady in that, but name. She can quote stuff, like a lot of stuff, and her entire family. When I go and eat dinner with my in-laws, it's just like quote fest, and myself and some of the other non-flowets are just sitting there like, did you get that? No. Hey, we're in the same club. We don't know what's going on, club. And I'm an actor.
That's funny.
Go figure. But it's great. It's great having her because then she could be like, if I ever get big enough to go to parties, I have to bring her. I'm like, who is that? It's Martin Scorsese, honey. Oh, who? I'm sorry.
And what do I know him for? That's right.
Who's that? Oded
The
Fair.
name rings a
Where do
bell,
I
but-
know that name? You worked with him. Oh,
You ever seen a gangster movie? No.
Yeah.
Jessica is amazing. She's just I'm so lucky to have her in my life, and she's my reader for all of my self-tape, like home self-taped editions, and just the sheer amount of voices she can pull off and the emotions behind them, like it's incredible. And she's not an actor. I mean, she has developed a love for voice acting, so she's going to pursue it as a non-union voice actor. But oh my god, like I can't ask for outside of Katisha Shaw, my best friend. Like Jess is it, and because Kat is not from around here. I can't use her, a lot because like a live reader sounds way better.
Sure.
But Jessica gets me booked. You know what I'm saying? Like she's that good. Sometimes I like hope that a casting director will be like, "It's Michael Chan's good, but who's that? Who's that? Who's that reader? Wow, the range of emotions on her."
Check out the voice acting talents of Michael and Jessica Chan on Star Trek Radio Theater over at Live Long and Podcast.
More ads, nice.
Hey, I gotta do what I gotta do. I'm not getting paid for any ads, so we do it on the X-Men podcast too. We advertise for everybody for free, and eventually, probably nothing will happen. We do it anyway. Well, geez, you got anything else for Michael Chan here, Dave?
Well, the final thing I think for me is because we've sort of pursued some of our own questions we're interested in for you and that sort of thing, but what is it that people don't ask you about that they should know about you or that you'd like to be able to have a chance to talk about?
When I'm being interviewed about stuff like Star Trek, and then prior to this, stuff like being on Mayday and all that, something that I'm very passionate about is diversity and equality.
Mm-hmm.
Not just when it comes to race, but also when it comes to things like LGBTQ plus representation, representation for people with disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
I am a very active member of my union's diversity and inclusion committee, and I am also part of the newly formed Out ACTRA TO, which is the Toronto LGBTQ plus committee for my union that split off from the diversity inclusion committee because you can't do too much. You know what I'm saying? It used to be just one committee trying to represent everybody, and it's so hard. So now there's like Out ACTRA TO, it's its own thing. I'm very passionate about this stuff, and a lot of people don't know this. Like I've been interviewed on CBC, CTV, CB24 for these specific things in relation to both the industry, because I'm very passionate not just about on-screen representation. I want it behind the camera as well, because for authentic stories to be told, you can't just put the people from the different stories that you want to tell in front of the camera. If everyone in the back is white, like what are you really telling? You need to have enough diversity to allow for the different voices to be able to come through and to have checks and balances, so that, let's say a director is white for an episode about Chinatown. That's fine.
Right.
I have no problem with it. But you need people behind the camera who are also Chinese to be able to help them to understand the significance of many of the different aspects of Chinese culture. That's just the way it is.
Sure.
So the more diversity and inclusion you have in every regard, behind the camera and in front of the camera, the more authentic you can get with all the different stories, so that everyone can help each other tell each other's stories. I know there's a lot of push for like, one group has to tell their stories and this group has to tell their story. It's great. That's great. But if it is a very big industry and a very collaborative industry, and what you're going to find is you can't just have one group of people make, let's say, an episode of a show about, again, let's say China. You can't just have all Chinese people. That's just impossible working on that episode. It's going to have to be everyone. So you have to have enough on both ends to get something that is more able to represent the Chinese culture and the Chinese aspect of that episode better.
Yeah, you don't want
So
to end
that's
up with a
something
Chakotay
I don't
paradox.
often get. I know a lot of people ask me, "Is like, what is your experience Like I get asked that, like as an Asian, East Asian actor, and I could talk about all the racism I've faced, all the people that told me I can do it, but nobody really talks about stuff outside of that. Like my experience is one thing. I just think it's important now, not only to talk about personal experience, about talk about what we can do as a community to make things better for everyone.
Wow, that's really lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, geez, why don't we end it on that note?
Sure.
It's very Star Trek-esque.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Well, Lieutenant Michael Chan, thank you so much for joining us. It's been lovely to meet you.
Great to meet you
I
guys
hope we get
too.
a chance to talk again sometime,
Oh, I would love to be on here again as a stepping stone to get onto one of the Superman Brothers shows, of course.
Of course.
Get your foot in the door, right?
Put in a good word for me if you ever meet those guys.
Well, duck to the bus. Yeah. Well, you're always welcome back for debates or discussions or whatever you want to join us for. Sure.
No, absolutely. Thank you. I would love that.
Right on.
Yeah, we have a lot of segments over here. But like you said, check out Superman Brothers. Check out Live Long Podcast. Check out my other podcast, X Rated, the X-Men Animated Show, and my co-host Andre's podcast, the Graphic Histories Podcast. And the Hellbound Podcast.
Yes, please.
Hosted by Michael Chan and Alex Blackburn. Yeah, check that out. It's a good podcast, trust me. Let's do it.
Thank you.
It's good. Yeah. All right.
Well, for now, end transmission.